Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one, big him and show one stone, and it bring about feeling to all wicked men. throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rastaman throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Stibbidim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no keep, and some informer friend we lovely. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent me. We in Global TV, check it.
Let me hasten to say rather, this is not a call to silence criticism. Far from it. Constructive dialogue, transparency, and accountability are vital to democratic policing. But such dialogue must be grounded in facts, fairness, and a respect for the principle of justice, including the presumption of innocence. Who could say that except for our very own Dr. Kevin Blake, the evil eye? Good morning and welcome to Global TV. I don't know about you, but I'm triggered by what Kevin Blake has said. Given Kevin's friend Linda came out the other day, you saw Linda at the funeral, didn't you? She called herself Sergeant Wallop, but we will call her Linda for the purpose of this conversation. You heard the threat from Linda. Is the JCF setting up itself for a constitutional showdown? Because they're really coming forward, even though they say they're not silencing us. But why warning us, though? Why continue to warn us and remind us that we must say something good about you? We must say something good about you while we're protesting. I'm triggered by that. I don't know if you all see the demons and the marine spirit in Kevin's eye when Kevin look at you, but maybe I'm looking from a different eye that you all are looking from. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good morning. Welcome to the Global Television Group. Thank you for joining us. I'm triggered by many things this morning. We'll probably leave Kevin for last because we will look at some things in the international spectrum before we turn back home. And Lord God Almighty, labor rights, top disgrace one another now. Top and top. Not because Andrew, we could not disgrace one another. So top labor rights. We will also look at the continuous war in fraction this morning in the Jamaica Labour Party. It a boil up, you know. Remember the Westmoreland people them say they're not top until election. And then Garfield James come call them hungry belly. So Garfield, it look like the post. It look like the post had the true Garfield James, isn't it? Heard that the commissioner file needs to be open as to when he was at Negril. Wrong, Lily. So we have to go to an ATI pa Kevin Blake. Beat and Teach, good morning. Debbie Jervis, welcome. Good morning. How are you all doing this morning? Hyacinth Collins, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Zenith Beckford, good morning. Good morning. Thank you all for joining us. Sunshine, good morning and welcome. Good morning, Wayne Evans. Good morning, Chelsea Clinton. Good morning. Good morning, Sharon Bernard. Good morning and welcome. Good morning, Claudette Edwards. Judith, Judy Roberts. Good morning, Gloria Morris. Good morning, all, and welcome. Keith Matthews, Beat and Teach, RJ, JB. Thank you all for joining. Sophia Hall. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Daphne Jackson, Carol Paul, good morning. Millicent Jones, George Hales, good morning. Norman Ferguson, good morning, bro, good morning. Suzette Williams, Celine Browning, Vernon Adams, Kenroy Codden, Markland Fagan, Caroline Richards, Ladybug, Donna Fox, Rennie Nicholson, Rose Sweet, Joan Bailey. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome. Let me see who is on the tick this morning. Because we're going to rub people with PhD this morning. We're going to rub the PhD people and make glad they come off of the journey that elevates you to PhD because David Jervis, Bad Indian Colleen, sold by, is it Jake's or Jack? Is it Jake's, isn't it? Beat and Teach, Denison, Lovan, Debian, is it Dermot Levy, Mr. Tony, Blake, Leo the Best, Gaza Baby, Club Social, Courtney, Dennis, is it Petans Business Service? I think I got the first bit wrong. Melinda Ward, Gregory Clark rather, TikTok Money Boss, Benji, Martha Baylis, Wilmot, Joan, is it Cassie, Christine, fuck, don't want to cuss. AFACHO. I don't want to cuss. If I call your name, I'm going to cuss more. User 1381. Good morning. Thank you all for joining us this morning on the Global Television Group. We're going to look at a situation in London. We're going to, whatever we can, speak to the younger generation in the United Kingdom because our children in the United Kingdom are killing themselves as fast as they possibly can. Us, the Jamaican community, if you understand how these things develop, share a blame in the gang war and the turf war. Stacey, morning, Stacey. Share a blame in the turf war and the gang war in London and the United Kingdom. In London, particularly, and places like Birmingham and so on, Manchester, these areas where a lot of Afro-Caribbean communities reside. A major part of this gang war that you see going on here in the UK now is what Jamaicans come teach. Can anybody know how this place did run when I say the UK did violent free? But ever since 2005 onwards, there's an escalation of young people killing themselves in this country over postcode and turf wars and block war and the same drugs and all the guns and knives and everything. Everything is involved in it. But who do they learn it from? Because they never just fall out of sky and pick it up. Our very own Jamaican, Violet Watson, how you do? Our very own Jamaican. And them come here, come teach them. When me come to England, what happening here now? On the street with our young black children, it weren't happening. But they learn all of these demonic things from our very own Jamaican. Them we carry them boogie yaga, turf war, and gang war come to the street of London. And with children, them a kill off them one another now. Before Jamaicans come here, the later generation of Jamaica, particularly the Tony Blair generations, when Tony Blair opened the gate, that generation, they come here, come mess up a lot of young youths them. They are killing each other as fast as they can in the street. And whatever message we can send to get through to them. Jamaica have a blame. Jamaica gangsters wanna have a blame in this wanton killing where we see with children are killing off each other in the street. We Jamaican have a blame in it. And we come here, come teach them the street life, the gang life, and the turf warfare.
How we're doing, guys?
Come
Myself,
soon,
just
I'll do
the
it.
OBE, getting with a quick one. Real talk, true seasons. Don't worry, I'll wait. Horror, 3 days across London after 6 stabbings. Don't worry, I'll wait. And the worst thing about it, before I even get into it, I'm just gonna even let my younger Chris talk. Let my younger talk right now. Take a look at this.
This is a video to every single gang member in the UK. I don't want you to comment though, because I'm gonna hot you up. You know, you're not just gonna be a teenager your whole life. You're not just gonna have hair like this or tattoos or this watch or this. Nah, you're gonna
Talk
get
to them.
You're gonna get old. And these friends you're around, they're not gonna be around for that long, you know. Them girls you're trying to impress, they're not gonna be around for that long, you know. A lot of people only act bad to impress someone because no one really acts bad for themselves. That's what you need to understand. It's a deeper, spiritual, psychological thing. Why you are acting bad, why you smoke weed, why you hold this knife, why the only valid point you have in an argument is to say, I got 10 man on my blade. That's not a valid point in an argument, you know, to say you have 10 man on your blade. A valid point to say in your argument is, yeah, I've got purpose, I've got vision, I'm gonna move my mum at the ends. Yeah. My man tried to slap me in my face, but you know what? Guess what I done? I ran up a mill legit. Yeah, that's what I did. I didn't go to his house and shoot him, and then 2 weeks later go jail and get a 20.
Facts.
Nah, bro. Because you
Facts.
see, pride can really
Real
mess with
talk.
my future, and I know this, and I'm aware of this because I'm intelligent.
Are you
I'm
listening to
smart.
what my man's saying? Younger Chris
Guys,
right now.
Young G's, older generation I watch, we know this. Stop listening
Facts.
to these guys.
Facts.
There's stories about this and that. Because if they wanted to, they would. Why did the older generation not even have credit scores, mortgages? Because they have failed, and they want you to fail as well. It's all a scam. They want you to fail as well. That's why they've got you so close knitted.
Yes.
That's why they want you to go do their booting.
Tell
They
them.
don't want to do it themselves. They want
Tell
you
them
to
again.
because they're too scared to do it.
For the ones at the back.
Well, yeah, man's gonna pay you a rack worth of freedom. No, it's not. Every single person that's in jail, they will tell you if they could turn back the clocks, they would have turned it back. I don't live with regret. Everything
Facts.
I stand on that shit
Facts.
because I'm aware and I'm
Facts.
not blind. And people operating in gang violence and gang culture, I'm sorry to say this, but you are blind. Because you don't need to be in a gang. What you in a gang for? What you beefing for? What you outside for? What you holding this knife for? Because the man violated you. That's not enough for you to risk your life or to risk your freedom. It's not enough. It never is enough. How can you do that? Nothing's ever enough. If you understand the real concept of life and why you're here, then you understand that life is a place where you learn, where you grow, where you thrive, where you prosper. Not where you take life. Not where you just take drugs every day. Not where you just make £10 a day in a legal way and you don't even have tax. You don't pay tax.
Facts.
You don't do nothing. It's
Facts.
like, what kind of life are you living?
Real talk, big
What
man.
kind of life you
Well
living? I
said.
can say this because I was once
Well
part
said.
of this life. I was once blinded, but now I'm not blind. I have to tell you guys, The only way to become
Share
a great
this,
person, the only
like
way to
this,
thrive,
comment
thriving,
this.
growing,
Just goes to
prospering,
show that there's
thriving.
hope
Sorry, I
for
said
some
that
of
word
our younger
again.
kids.
But
Don't
it's like,
worry,
I'm
I'll
so
wait.
passionate about this, and it's like,
Big up to my man.
roads,
Love
damn,
that.
bro. Why don't you guys realize the road does not love you? It doesn't. It can't love you. We got people like KO in jail for 37 years. He wasn't even there. He's in jail. Bare people are in jail. This is what they do. Once you're black and they know you're on a gang, they're gonna try and get you.
Rub you out.
They get you, that's it. They close that door. You realize, damn, life is not a joke, man. I still got my 40s, 50s, and 60s to live. Damn, bro. Don't let these girls gas you up, you know, because these girls ain't gonna be there when it's that time. They're not gonna be
Real
there.
talk.
There,
Talk up the things, my younger.
Wake up. Open your eyes, bro. Like, get to the bag in a legit way. Get to the bag. Find your purpose. Discover why you were here. You're not here to grip that funky knife and to kill and shank 25th. No, you're not here for that. You're here for a greater purpose. And how do I know this? Because, like I said, I was once there.
And now, man, back.
Excuse my.
And this is the reasons why I say I appreciate you, King. And I see you. This young man is breaking down some knowledge to some of you youth, man. And he's you guys' age. So when you're sitting there looking at my generation, you're saying, "Raw, them man, I robbed that." Man's telling you, "Is I robbed that thing." Don't worry. I'll wait. Help me make it make sense that a 35-year-old's on the block with you talking about gang, 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 gang. Man's got bodies. Man's got bodies. Man just come out of prison doing a 10 stretch. Like, make it make sense. Like, you're repping a block that you don't even own. You're repping something to a point when it gets to a stage of soon as you do time, soon as you do time, man, them are gone. Talking about, yeah, man's living outside London now with my missus, and yeah, boy, man's just working now, big man. Like, your life is gonna change. So this small little piece of your life when you're a teenager, thinking that you're Teenager Mutant Hero Turtles, it's not gonna be that. I'm guaranteeing you're gonna get older and realize, raw, like there's a whole world out there. You know what I'm saying? There's a place that I could actually have ventured out. But now you're stuck in the bits because you got a criminal record and you can't leave the country. You got a criminal record, you can't even buy a yard. You got a criminal record to a point now when anything that you're trying to do, even when your child's getting older, they're like, wow, Dad, what, you can't get no finance? Well, you can't get me a car. You can't even do anything. Looking hella soft, always having to rely on this drug money and this bad man thing and this big man ego. So what do you get at the end? You're dead. What does bad man get? I don't understand. What does bad man get? Because they don't get no acres. They don't get no property. They don't get no assets. Man get, man was the real one though. He was the realest, bruv. Man's a bad man. Man forever be a legend. Legend for what though? For what? Like I said, it's a false game. Big up to this young man trying to speak some sense. Don't be like another statistic over you now taking someone's life just because he was repping a different block and just because you felt like you didn't like him or disagreement or whether it's because of a girl, gang, block, area. Make it make sense. Is your life worth that? And like my man said, go and get the bag, but go and get the bag in a real way. But what's you guys' thoughts? Comment below.
For those of you who confuse with the language, rep means represent, bag means money, and so on and so forth. But this is what I call London black language, even though it's across the country and you find every other black culture speaks that black language, as well as white and Asian culture, young people off the street. Even when I speak to them sometime, I have to ask them, can you translate in English, please? Because I don't understand your wording. But that's why we have to be careful what we teach the children, because it's what we teach them. It's what I saw Jamaicans teaching them on the street of London that is unfolding in front of our eyes now. A Jamaican may start the turf warrior over the postcode and the area, over drugs, over girl, and all of them foolish soddery. And it has left a nasty stain on the young black community in this country. A lot of them, you see, involved in this lifestyle. I have proof of this. They are children of that same generation of young Jamaican men who were on the street selling drugs, stabbing and shooting each other, many of them. Children live what they learn. Many of the young people you see going around in this gang style today are children of a lot of those same very own gangsters which turn the street of London into the killing machine of our children killing each other. Now we're going to turn onto Africa and look at some development with President Toure. We're going to listen to Auntie Elaine first, and please beware that Auntie Elaine mouth rusty like mine. So you may hear rusty languages coming out of our mouth. But let's listen to Elaine and then we will listen to Abraham Toure in English.
Yo, what is this I'm hearing about how France and the US want to arrest Ibrahim Traore? Are you taking the piss? Like this man didn't kick France out of his country. Like this man didn't open up 2 tomato processing plants. Like this man didn't make medical health care free for all, no matter what your status is. And recently, over the last couple of days, made education free up until uni. And the dirty, stinking colonizers want to arrest him. Are we supposed to act like France didn't have its hands around Burkina Faso's throat for how long? And now we have a leader who's doing what no bumperclut cowardice African leader has done. And you want to arrest him on what charges? Listen, as a Black people, if there's one thing we can all unite around the globe, it's because of this man, you understand? And he needs to be protected all costs, spiritually, physically, mentally. He needs to be protected by every single one of us. They already tried to take his life 19 times, yeah? And it's clearly going up. So I suggest you start praying for this man, praying for his life, praying for his family, praying for his country. And to all of you cowardice African leaders, yeah, if they try and step to Traore, you need to prove yourselves and try and protect him. Send military, send resources, send everything you can to make sure that he protects his country. That's what you should do. But we know how it goes already with you African leaders. You rather fatten up your pockets rather than look after your people. Some of you don't even deserve to be leaders, because if you're not even putting your life on the line for your people, for your country, what the hell are you doing trying to run it? You see how Ibrahim done it? And it only took him 18 bumperclut months. Yeah? And some of you have been leaders for over 20 years. Your people should spit in your face for the way you leaders left them high and dry and living in poverty and fattening up the pockets of the West. So come on, cowards. Show us what the heart of a lion is. Show us if you can live up to Ibrahim. Show us that you can rise to the occasion. Give us something, anything to be proud of.
On saying that, all of us should find Andrew Holness this morning and spit right in his face, isn't it? Andrew Holness has left us high and dry, has he not? Let's move on to Abraham Toure. And this is a response to the NGO that sparked the bullshit of America, because you know America and its bullshit on human rights. Yes, that same America who kneel on Black people's neck, that same America who go around the world dropping bombs on baby, the human rights loving America. America, the great human rights abortionist bomb dropping, kneeling on our neck lover, America, the great bastion of human rights. Bullshit, America. God damn you.
Our country has long been in a very complicated system. Most of you who are young like me, we were born into this system. But that's not what can allow Burkina to thrive. Because in this situation, there are only two cases. Either we accept to fight or we remain slaves forever. I told you once, there are those who are slaves in their minds. They can only serve their master. And those people try every time to manipulate you. You must advise each other. Because every situation can be exploited by these enemies of the nation to try to discourage you, to demotivate you. So you must advise each other and not pay attention to certain remarks. Our country has long been in attention to certain remarks, even on some media. Not everyone is obliged to be patriotic. You are the first patriots. You have decided to defend the homeland. There is nothing better than that. Those who want to support you, let them support you. Those who want to discourage you through writings, you must close your ears and move forward. As for those, we will fight them here. So, we must remember something. Recently, there is a so-called NGO. It's not even an NGO. Because NGO stands for non-governmental organization. They are not non-governmental because they are funded by a federal budget, by a state. This so-called NGO produces reports claiming that the FDS and the VDP commit abuses. It went in here, it came out there. Its attention to certain remarks tarnish your morale. It's to scare you, to prevent you from being able to fight. No. Moreover, we are going to file a complaint against this NGO. Have been taken in the Sahel. We must file a complaint against this NGO because it is responsible for these false reports it made to support this thesis of attacking Libya. They have no moral lessons to give us. Look at the world. Let them go defend human rights all over the world first before coming here. We are fortunate to have similar situations. In this world, you voluntarily committed yourselves. There are countries where people are forcibly taken, killed. You leave or you die. Others, even while trying to flee, end up dying. They don't talk about human rights because these people see us as subhumans. They see us as slaves. That's how it is in their minds. They have never changed their mindset, but it's up to us to show them that we are not slaves and have been taken in the Sahel. And we will never accept this state of affairs. So don't be fooled by the stories. They tell to anyone who will listen. You must stay focused on your fight. Stay focused. We know what we are doing. And even now, the VTP commander told me that there is a human rights training session underway for group leaders and their deputies. If we make efforts, we know it's for ourselves. We no longer do things to please someone else. We do it for our homeland. And you are committed to that. Defend your homeland. Do not listen to those individuals. They should not affect your morale. In the history of the world, there have been wars. And during the Second World War, people organized themselves to defend all over the place. But there is a country that could not defend itself, which had to, and we will never accept it.
And on this, I can turn home and tell Jamaicans for justice, do not be intimidated by the Jamaican constabulary force. Do not be intimidated by the Jamaica constabulary force. We saw where they sent a strong message to the group, to the team the other day. You remember when, what's the call her? Miss Linda was at the funeral, and she sent a message to Jamaicans for justice that if you go out on your protest on the 29th of this month and you don't hail Mary, the mother of Jesus, I, Linda, deem you as a terrorist in our country. Let's remind you all of Linda's argument. So Linda no go say a lie, we're telling her.
I know there are advocacy groups out there who want to thwart what the Jamaica Constabulary Force has achieved. In 25 years, we have never seen a reduction at the end of February. So low. 25 years. Yet, you're looking at a few states without doing your research. I must start off before I talk about Garfield, the legendary investigator. I am going to send a message to Jamaica for justice. Don't be a part of the problem, be a part of the solution. Get on board. I would love at your peaceful demonstration coming up April 29th. You have placard to speak about the budget reduction in major crimes. I would love for you to have the placard telling men and women who have paid the ultimate sacrifice, thank you. I would love for you to have a placard to speak to the family of police officers who have been gunned down by criminals. If you can't do that, I classify you as a true terrorist. Dr. Kevin Clay and the men and women and leadership of this force has transformed the system. How dare you walk to the Jamaica Constabulary Force instead of partnering with us? Come and have a sit down with us. Show us your stats of community engagement where you go here in communities. And tell the criminals. We want you to help us save the citizens' land. You cannot be one-sided, and it's clear that there is no recognition for the stats from Indigo. You know why? Over 80% of all police shooting were justifiable. JSJ or whatever J you are, let it be a joyous moment and don't get the facts and leave the members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force to carry out their function.
That was Linda from the Jamaica Constabulary Force. That was Linda from the Jamaica Constabulary Force sending out a threat to Jamaicans for Jamaica for Justice. That if Jamaica for Justice does not have their Hail Mary placard, then they are terrorists. Not that a police who would see a young man coming from school and beat him, harass him, not carry him to the hospital, not contacting his parent. Ever since Kevin Blake come in, there's a onslaught of killings that have been unleashed on us. We heard the Prime Minister told us, judge our maker. We hear Oris Chang tell us, Jeep our van back. But in Kevin's message, broke the young man hand. But in Kevin's message, I will read for you again. Kevin speaks some bullshit, which I will deal with point by point. Let me hasten to say that this is not a call to silence criticism. That's the first part I will deal with. If it's not a silencing and an intimidation tactic, Kevin, why is it that Jamaicans for Justice, who understands the law much more than you do, who understands the Constitution, who applied for the permit to protest, why is it that you harass them and harangue them and tell them, say, don't go there, go talk the truth. You have to talk what pleases us. That I tell you, that is what you're saying. You have to talk what please we. Or truth and full no truth is not the same. And Kevin is not recognizing that. Let's move on to the next bit. He said, far from it and a silence where silence. Constructive dialogue, transparency, and accountability are vital to democratic policing. You really said that? You see something true? Do you want us to just hear it, or do you want us to hear it and believe it? Or when you speak it, do you speak it and mean it, or do you speak it for just speaking's sake? Let's look at the different words. Constructive dialogue. You've seen many videos circulating, Kevin, of how your policemen behave to us on the street. Let's look at even your policymaker, Kevin, Dr. Chang. He can barely mumble a bluff. Dr. Chang can barely mumble a bluff. We would have to have Chancellor to understand Dr. Chang. Never mind that. Have you heard the Prime Minister? Have you heard how short-tempered the Prime Minister is when you ask him any question? Especially when you ask him a question we don't like. So the transparency and accountability and the constructive dialogue in here, the constructive dialogue, how that work out, how we going to get to talk to no gun? How we going to get to have that conversation there with no gun, Kevin? Because by the time we don't see, even if we not call, we have the gun and not point out away and call we with it. This is a long established practice for Jamaica police take out their gun out of their waist and do so. Hey boy, come here. Tell me if you lie, me I tell Kevin. Tell me, say, what you say, PDTB rub him out last night. Tell me, say, a lie, me I tell. So, the constructive dialogue, Kevin, I don't know what you are talking about. Who we are going to have the constructive dialogue with? Not you, not the JCF, not Horace Chang, and not the angry Prime Minister Andrew Olney. So, me don't know. Don't know where I talk about the constructive transparency. You talk if it too? Transparency and accountability. Me not go tackle that part there with you because every Jamaican, Kevin, knows that part they not go so. The JCF transparent, the JCF accountable, Kevin. Kevin, you mean on we take we picnic out a house, kneel him down round house back, pump bullet into him and then go tell the media say him in a shootout? You mean no, we don't believe So me not even go waste all heap of time upon the transparency and accountability because no Jamaican don't believe that part they want to say. None would walk and talk that story there. Only if you're a labor right where your hand, face, and mouth up Andrew's another Southern Island. Ongo them would say them something there. So me not will have trouble the democratic policing part where you say the transparency, the accountability, and the constructive dialogue is vital too. Me not will have to talk about the democratic policing because we know so we're far from that. We're not fool. We know we're not in a them league there. So we're not gonna make your jaw with down the line there. But the nether part we're gonna look at, Kevin, is the part where these are the subliminal threats, Kevin Blake. But such dialogue must be grounded in facts. Whose facts though, Kevin? Whose facts? is Kevin Blake talking about? Can you provide us the different figures and how to register the different figures to get the crime rate down by 36%, Kevin? Give the public the, if you're talking about transparency, accountability, and then you say you come down here for talk about facts. Why you can't be transparent in releasing the numbers? How to tally the numbers? How to get the crime down? Tell us. Fairness. Fairness. Or you mean left or right? Kevin, fairness. The dialogue must be grounded in facts. Fairness, Kevin. You mean left or right? You mean the news carrying police them what we pay for car news? The news carrying police them we sell bullets to bad man? You mean the police them we seize the illegal gun and then either them go use it or distribute it to them bad man friend? That you talk about? Kevin? I have for that Kevin attack. When Kevin talk about facts and fairness, Kevin must have talked about the gun them where them are put on the street. Because one never tell we yet. All of these gun we now find and confiscate and these where the gangster them a get their ammunition from, Kevin? Can you tell? Because remember so no chuck we in our back pocket, you know. So even if two gangsters make plan to buy shot from one another, we're not supposed to hear in it. Because we can't hear what we are talking. We know the Israeli them can't hear what we are talking in our pocket. So they must can't see what we are doing it. Facts and fairness, said the Commissioner of Police. You worse than Fitzbailey. Boy, this country always find Wasara. Jamaica is good at finding Wasara. What else Kevin said? And a respect for the principle of justice. Could you tell that to Andrew and Chang, who have ordered you to go around the country shooting down young men for bag juice and soul scone? But here we say, including the presumption of innocence. Do you understand, Kevin, that the presumption of innocence applied to those young men who no shoot down on the streets extrajudicially, who haven't got a pin or a needle in their hand? Those people should have been taken before the court and given their day in court, Kevin. And you come here talk about the presumption of innocence? How does the presumption of innocence apply to a young man who you have shot repeatedly, regularly, extrajudicially, without any weaponry? How is it that you can go take a young man out of them house or shot them in a them bed or kneel them down at them house back? The presumption of innocence doesn't apply. Even if he's a gangster, you know, even if he's a gunman, the fact doesn't mean that because he's a gunman, you must shoot him down. You must arrest him and take him before the court if you have the evidence. But based on all the way, you just mump. This is why I say, me glad me never complete my masters. Because after my masters, it would be the journey to the PhD to become Dr. Forbes. Hey, at that time, me would have wicked to wara. See wickedness unleashed, Pauno. Because I have come to the understanding. Firstly, I thought, and I still hold that belief, that once you do a doctorate, you're a mad person. You tend to get lost in that tunnel trajectory that you've been placed in doing a certain qualification, especially when you get to the doctoral level, you tend to become tunnel vision mad, like literally. You become tunnel vision dumb. So not because you hear them come out of university and say, oh, I have a doctorate and a doctorate and a blah. It don't mean say them learn much. It don't mean say them learn much. People with doctorate can be very tunnel vision. Why are you here, whatever you are, ratty or pussy or doggy or how your name's pronounced? Pronounce it in a syllable and make me know. Because you sound like a rat, a pussy or a dog right now. Why are you here? I always telling us that when you know here, we don't want here, move on. I am not tying anyone over here. It's not my intention. Move on. So people with doctorate are very tunnel vision. Not a lot of them have a broad mind. Because when you're doing a doctorate on a particular area, say I'm doing a doctorate in business and financial law, I have to, for that period where I'm doing that doctorate, and most people are just tunnel vision like that, I have to read every books, every article, every journal, every published piece of literature from then to now on that area. So you find those people tunnel vision into only what they have studied when it comes to a broader area of life. And this is how most degree operate if you are not a person that likes information and decide to read broadly outside of your degree. That's why you see all heap of them so dunce. That's why you see all heap of them get the job because they look very shiny on paper. But up here, dry wood, you knock pan it so, a be a dust a fly. Dry wood, dry wood. And these are the people that tend to end up in the higher ruling class of life, like you become prime minister, you become commissioner for this, you become chair for this, you become chief executive for this. Not all of them are bright, but our Jamaicans prove it. Because with all those, look at Dr. Tufton. Look at Dr. Chang, even though his doctor is not related to PhD. And let me, because people have misconception and misunderstanding with them. Now, Dr. Chang, if he doesn't have a PhD, should not be referred to as Dr. Chang, not because he's a doctor. At that senior level of consultancy, when you're from registrar up, you become Mr. That's the title. Those who use the doctor title, or in the medical field I'm talking now, those who use the DR title, or what you call house officers and senior house officers, junior doctors, when you get to the registrar consultant level, you then call them Mr. And that is done in order not to confuse the PhD title that people like Chris Tufton, where Andrew Holness beg, buy, steal, and borrow, have in front of them name. The PhD is for people who've gone through that academic drill. However, you have people like Andrew Holness and Bobby Montague. You notice you ever really hear going on Dr. Bobby Montague, because he has an honorary as well. But your honorary and something will stick to you, like Kofi Andrew Holness stick to him. It's used in some cases because some people will confuse it if you don't have the understanding that either that Andrew Holness is a PhD holder or Andrew Holness is a medical doctor, which he's none of. He's none of. So the way how him use it, it is really misleading. And all right, me hear even Vegas has said the other day, because you know him and Andrew Holness chief defender. The course what the man a do, allow him to use the doctorate title. No, Denise, that's not how it works. In the healthcare system, yeah, we always refer to them as doctor this and doctor that. But doctor in the healthcare system, you're really referring to a house officer and a senior house officer, the junior doctors. Once you get to the stage of registrar, consultant, their title becomes Mr. However, we still refer to them as doctor, but their title is Mr. because then if everybody becomes doctor, you're going to confuse the seniors and the juniors. It's really the juniors, house officer and senior house officer, that get referred to as doctor. But if you look at when registrar or consultant, look on them title, it's always Mr. So yeah, Andrew is no, it's DLP, Doctor of Law and Policy. So the DLP is not a DR. But it is what Andrew Holness, people them regularly come round and say, oh, the graduation we're going to have this summer, that allow him to use the DR. No, it does not. That is called DLP, Doctor of Law and Policy, which is quite different to a Doctors of Philosophy. So, when you notice the wicked them with the degree, Dr. Tufton, Dr. Blake, Dr. Holness, Dr. Chang, Dr. this, the Paul Nadine Spence. Oh, wicked and lie like Nadine Spence. When you notice that since Nadine Spence become Dr. Nadine Spence, she not no sense again? Have you all noticed Dr. Nadine Spence? From she turn doctor, she turn cuckoo? Because half of these people, and you see what happened to them after they've been awarded the doctoral, it's that material flick switch where I'm better than, I'm above them. Whatever I told them, it's facts. Because this is how people with doctoral behave. You must take their word for facts. Me and one go for one show down one day in a last school. He was Dr. Bajella. Dr. Bajella was teaching us policing and the criminal procedure rule. The policing law over here, we call it PACE. The rule of police operate by. And during one of his PACE lecture, Dr. Bajella was telling us bullshit because the law was upgraded and Dr. Bajella seemed to did not know that the law was upgraded. So in lecture the day, I stopped Dr. Bajella in his track and said, you're teaching us an outdated piece of information. And it went downstream very fast with Dr. Bajella and I, to the point where he asked me to come out of his class. But I returned the next morning and I pinned on the board the current information. And all of my colleagues in class told Dr. Bajella, you should apologize to Wayne. To date, Dr. Bajella has not apologized. The fact that you have a PhD doesn't mean that you're speaking facts. The fact that you have a PhD does not mean that you are bright. Look at Andrew Holness. Look by Andrew. And him walk around and say, I have this, that, bim, bam, and the other. Andrew Holness can't even get himself out of trouble. Look where Andrew Holness getting with leadership. And him say my leader, you know. And him say my lead the party. And him say my lead the country. How did we get here, Andrew Holness? It was just the other day you were telling us you have the third term lock. Prime Minister, where is the key? Who opened the third term for you? And when we talk about Andrew Holness leadership, labor right, if you're new to Global TV, please give us a follow on TikTok, please, and continue to top up the screen and take us to 30,000 likes. Thank you very much. Doctor of lying and stealing. Now, Andrew Holness, the sliced bread prime minister, they say the prime minister, the best prime minister since independence. Andrew has been the best of everything. I don't know why favor is shining on this prime minister so much. How is it though, prime minister, being so good at everything in our country, how is it that it has all fallen apart on you when you have it so good? Our economy has never been in a greater position, says Andrew. Our employment figures has never been this low, said Andrew. Our roads have never been in this disgraceful disrepair, said Andrew. We have never before tried to reconstruct a hospital for 8 years on an overly round budget, said Andrew. We have never suffocate the people of water, said Andrew, the best prime minister since sliced bread. We have been talking about Andrew's dismal leadership for years. What we do? We come out every day, come tell us we're bad man. We take one, push we up under with mama. If we feel Vaseline, we and get we back up there, we not do it. No problem. We no know better. Buster couldn't spell bread. We no can't spell bad word. So we don't expect better. We know say we bad mind. The truth has now become synonymous with bad mind. If you listen to Jamaica Labour Party, we know say we bad mind. We're all right with we bad mind. We not change with bad mind until on a prime minister tap thief. We not change with bad mind until phone a prime minister tap thief. So we willing to negotiate with honor and change with bad mind when phone a prime minister tap thief. But if it wasn't a dismal leadership issue with Andrew Holness, how could the Jamaica Labour Party end up in such a fracas? No. When this should be the strongest, given how every day on a walk and beat we with ticket up, pow, 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 third term loaded. How is it that on now gather round the leader to make sure say the leader and the team carry home the third term? On a top of road a fight with one another. And look how forward, Porsche, forward, PNP. I'm not a PNP, but I love the forward, Porsche, forward. Because if you don't know me, Porsche was my darling of the PNP. Other than Michael Manley, I think Porsche did the best she could. I don't think PJ did the best he could have. That's my reality. So I will always say, forward, Porsche, forward. A lot of us, based on what Mount Golden says, has hope for the country. Only with good leadership, though, because Andrew did come with a whole lot of bullshit that serenaded the country, that gives Andrew Holness a chance to fuck up this country. The chance that Andrew Holness was given, you know. He messed up the country with it. We're not thief, in tell lie about, or in walk and kill we off. or him walk in prison with. How is it, Prime Minister, that you can secure a third term with your whole camp all falling apart on you? Your entire camp, Prime Minister, has fallen apart. What a disgrace for a third term. No, sir. Westmoreland people say we are turn up the thing. Westmoreland people turn up the thing.
Come out, but guess what? It takes a fear child to beat Mr. Wilson. If it was fear, you could never even go near to Mr. Wilson's score with the people. It's the same people that Mr. Wilson have. You have to come and beat Mr. Wilson. That is not fear. Mr. Wilson, when you was in the runner, the people you came over with Mr. James could not give you a win in the labor right. Mr. Wilson had to go around begging people to vote for you, Mr. James. And you come back round and come on, Mr. Wilson. No unity, you're a liar, Mr. James, you're lying. You're telling media that Mr. James, Mr. Moreland, is going to work with you. Nothing like that because they never want to work with Mr. James Moreland when Mr. Moreland tell you. No, you're telling people that we are in unity with you. No, no Moreland, no vote. Mr. James, you say 5. Mr. James, you say 5 hungry but come on out here, but guess what? Today we not hungry. And if 5 hungry but come on, voice are going louder than yours. Leave me 5 man out of hit where you have. Leave me 3 councillor caretaker. Leave me some miles out of hit. And you and Mr. Moreland are alone. We back out.
Lord God Almighty! Tap no man, tap. Now me can't do wholeness, me could not disgrace one another. So tap. Tap no.
Stop crying. Shia cry too much. No make nobody make it just a cry and go away, so stop. Lord God Almighty, stop crying. Shia cry too much. No make nobody make it just a cry and go away, so stop. Tell somebody say stop. Somebody say stop. Them tell there's a better.
Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out. From Portland, take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody, man or woman.
You say I go in the election, sir. Me case and win it. Me case and win it. But one thing we're not going to do. We're not going to allow the government to abuse us and silence us at the same time. Especially now that we're knowing more and more the operations of the Cybercrime Act. And we see the government's intention to shut us down, the government's intention to violate our fundamental rights. That's why I'm asking you to stand with Jamaicans for justice. Because this is not a stand for Jamaicans for justice. This is a stand for all of us, that all of us should get involved in. Even if you don't want to go up on the protest, for Andrew Holness and him bad man them come, call in sick from work that day and protest from home. Or you don't even have to call in sick. Tell your employers you're protesting on that day. We have that right. It's enshrined in law. Only if we can keep it though. Because the rate of them ya hooligan ago. All of them want to shut us down globally. This is not just a Jamaica thing. Dale Gordon, shower. Go on, go be a deal. You wash yourself since morning. Go on, go be a. Are you say shower? I know some say go on, go be a. Because that we normally do when we shower. Go on, go be a. We must not let this government silence us. At the very time when the government is abusing us, we must not settle for the silence. So if we're afraid to go out on a demonstration with Jamaican for justice, don't go to work that day. Look at the young man that JCF Sipan Road have come from school and take them back into him. That could have been your child. That could have been any one of us children. But what I am sure of, in a Labour Party Jamaica, in a CIA America created Jamaica Labour Party, where they have problem with we here, a young white man wouldn't have been treated like that by our black police, our coconuts, bunties, or roast bread fruit, or overripe plantain for that matter. If it was a white young man from Cherry Gardens on the upper echelons of society, would have never be treated like that by the police on our street, with Jamaicans standing, passing by and watching police abusing one of their children. You think that could have happened? You think police could have behaved so in England and we pass like say we don't see it? Something wrong with we.
Yo!
I don't think you're gonna understand how fucking serious this is. Jamaica people, I doubt it. That's why we're gonna buck up in all sort of fuck rip and road. You don't understand the intimidation and abuse of power. The same fucking country which is trying to fight crime is creating criminal out of our young men. You think that a young man will already not like the police. Police see him on the street and treat him like that. What else do you expect, Jamaica? The government and the police force, we know they create crime and criminal, though. Stand there and think it now go reach your child one day. Think to say your child now go come home from school with broke hand or bust head carried out by the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Sit down, Jamaicans. Sit down and think, say, it now go happen to your picnic or it now go get worse.
Yo!
Do you know the fucking psychological trauma that this creates? Do you understand the psychological trauma that was created on the 20th of April when the police did this to this young man? Do you think this young man will be attacked on the street and feel confident enough to call the police or to report it to them?
Torn torn clothes, a 15-year-old boy now limping. It may look like the aftermath of an animal attack, but there were no claws, no fangs. It was instead an encounter with the police as he walked home from school. He says he was walking with 3 female classmates when a police vehicle pulled up. They asked to search him. He agreed. Nothing was found. But what came next is believed to have been a result of a comment the teen admits he made. He doesn't like the police. He claims he was ordered to go into the vehicle and was told he'd be arrested for using indecent language, an order he resisted for this reason.
God know what they're going to do to me if I go down there by myself.
So is it that you were scared?
Exactly, because them are going to say, me try to want stay and do one bag of things. So, like, them did say me I threatened them. I wasn't threatening anyone. I was just telling them, I go call people and make them know what I do.
And when he resisted, the 2 officers reportedly grabbed him. One allegedly used a baton, striking him on the wrist and at his side. His mother had just gotten home from work when she got a panicked call. She rushed to where he was, but by then, the officers had already left. She then went to the Glengoff police station.
I'm going to break ranks this morning. Red Renegade. Red Renegade. See if you aisle the top of your head and ask your mother to open your foot and walk your way back because you're going to have to go back and return. All right? Well, you might need a lot of grease because your head may be big. Your head may be big, so you may need a lot of grease.
Where she confronted one of the officers involved. She says she was told her son was being arrested for what on the ground and do all of that. Like seriously? She's demanding justice, and she says the police also refused to take a...
May I talk about the young man? How gunman get in at this here context here, so? How me protecting gunman I talk about a young man that Jamaica Constabulary Force and JLP abuse on road. You see how them labor rights are irritating? Never mind, a labor right them duds.
Statements about the incident.
It's not a big man, he's a 15-year-old. If you hold on for him, I expect you to call my phone and say, Mother, I have your son at the station or something because him do something. I expect you to do me pick me so. I may ask you to carry him go to the hospital. I would tell me so I'm not doing it. And them do him so. And me,
yes, Red Renegade, go on. You don't belong over here. So over here so for bright people. Go on.
I may reach out to police officers.
Go on, Jankro.
Taking no statement.
Jankro, go
on.
on.
Up and down.
On Sunday, she told CVM News she has since filed a report at the Inspectorate and Professional Standards Oversight Bureau, IPROBE, who confirmed it would investigate the matter. CVM News has made multiple attempts to contact the police.
Until it gets to your door, it will move you. But if you have enough conscience, it will move you before it gets to your door. It's a long history of assault from the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Hey, Ingrid, I'm going to call you as soon as I'm done live today. I've been so busy. This is the same Jamaica Constabulary Force that was created to catch slaves. That's why them still cheat with like slave at all level them deal with. Because they were created to keep us in our place. They were created to make sure the fear and the intimidation continues. And that's why I tell us, the Jamaican, we're not going to live in no fear. Because if we live in a fear, we have become submissive to them. And we would rather die before becoming submissive to them. And they'll go kill me before they can silence me. I'm telling you all the time. If you don't decide to waste more than one bullet at me, it is a waste of time. Learn to shoot straight. If you fire more than one bullet at me, you're a waste of time. I'm not afraid of dying. Maybe uno are. I'm not. So many people have gone before. Have you heard any one of them come back complaining? So uno now go use fear silent me. Use the gun, sir. Uno have it. Dr. Chang have Dr. Chang carrying hundreds of it in the country. Hundreds a month. So if you don't waste more than one shot after me, you never train well. Just never train well. But one thing you not go do is shut my mouth. My mother never shut it and you go want to shut it. Shoot me first.
Anyway, I want to remind us about April 1963. Carl Gardens, Montego Bay.
This is the same police then. This is the same police now. Hot off of the press. Welcome, sis. How you do? What a disgrace, Pan Andrew hot off of the press. Have you ever seen disgrace come at a wrong time, so? It better Andrew did have out this disgrace in the second term, you know. But then again, at the second term, at the first part of your second term, Andrew. But boy, at the fall of Andrew's sin come home to roost. All when they turn up on 1 foot Andrew wholeness, the whole roost full of foul. Lord God Almighty! I'm gonna tap disgrace one another now, man. Tap. Now make Andrew make una disgrace one another, so. Jesus, what a disgrace. Labor right, I call labor right, hungry belly labor rights. Labor rights! Currency American a long time, me no here. Come and look for you when you say labor rights. Hold on, no silence. 40 other, and nobody's there to come and speak up for the Prime Minister. So to learn to take out an old chopped chewing gum that been spat out, stepped on, and give him green t-shirt with him 2 big ears ring. One couldn't do better in Vegas. No man, talk truth. But them are labor rights. What do you expect?
Anyway, I want to remind us about April 1963. Carl Gardens, Montego Bay. It's very important because around this time, on the 13th of April 1963, Bustamante and the Jamaica Labour Party crucified Rasta. When Buster came off the aeroplane in Montego Bay, he said,
the same crucifixion that young man received on the 20th of April on the street coming home from school was a crucifixion by Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Andrew Holness will tell us him walk and track young people on them phone in our country just by commenting on social media. And Andrew tell us him track them, you know. I don't we make up them something there on Andrew. Is what Andrew told us.
Never will I live in a country and can defecate in peace. Anything that look like a billy goat, bring it in dead or alive. Bring in all bearded face men, dead or alive. What Barnett Street can hold?
Bowcat Rasta. Additional support. Bowcat Rastas of the Jamaica Labour Party. Good morning.
I will never live in a country where Rasta and Ganja exist. If they exist, God blind me. That is what the Prime.
And you know God certainly blind Buster. You are aware of that. You are aware that God certainly blind Buster, even before Buster learned to spell bread.
Minister Jamaica say no. And I can tell you honestly.
Hold on. Can you repeat all of that?
Yeah, man.
Repeat it.
When Buster came off the aeroplane in Montego Bay, he said, never will I live in a country can defecate in peace. Anything that look like a billy goat, bring it in dead or alive. Bringing in all bearded face men, dead or alive. Anything that Barnett Street can hold, Pie River will. If Rasta and ganja go exist in Jamaica, God blind me. That is what the Prime Minister said.
Are you a Rasta man?
No, I am not a Rasta, but I was born on the 14th of April 1963.
And this,
so I remember.
And this happened when?
The day before I was born.
Whoa.
So I remember being told by Rasta men in Montego because I'm a Montegonian.
Sister Tanya, Sister Nicole, Babette, you hear history? What the gentleman is saying is facts. It's what happened in Jamaica when police was ordered to kill every Rasta. It happened. Bustamante was the Prime Minister.
But Colin,
talk to me.
I ask myself, when I hear a poor black man get up and say he was a laborer, I sympathize with him.
Why?
Because I remember you have roast fruit.
Yeah.
And you have what we call Oreo.
So
when I hear a Rasta man say he was a laborer, I know something wrong with him mentally.
Well, that no me understand. Any Rasta man who support the Labour Party don't know him history. No know where him come from. No know how him get a chance to wear locks on him head and a walk street. Him don't know.
Well, you know, I remember being told.
It's true, John. This is a very piece of depressing history. That same Barnett Street was where Mario Dean's blood was run as well. History is a really depressing thing. That's why when you wake up out of the nightmare of the Matrix and you start to read real history, you are being perceived mad. When you have that awakening and start gathering information, you automatically are perceived by people to be mad. That's why most time we have an awakening. People, because we change how we eat, we change how we talk, we change a lot of things that we do. People automatically think you're crazy, and a lot of us are branded as crazy. I remember shortly after I had my awakening in 2003, a lot of my family members thought I was mad. They thought I was crazy, rock off it. They are now seeing some of the things I was saying then, because all of the information are out there now. History is not new. It's just a repetition. And once you understand where it's all coming from and to where you are today, you can really predict the next move and understand where it is going on. It is something that drives a lot of us crazy as well. It is too much of a hard truth for a lot of us to deal with. And some people do go crazy after having an awakening, and then you start to cram yourself with all the... Let me tell you what sort of almost got me crazy. The first book I bought when I had my awakening was a book called Overturning the Culture of Violence. And that was graphic history that involved slavery right up in the Americas, in the Caribbean, in Britain, and all of that. And that book was an eye-opener to the point where it almost drives me crazy. Sometimes that's why I'm going to push people into this work, because you see, if you don't have the brain power to tolerate it, I don't want to drive somebody else crazy. So it's a hard work. When you see people dedicate themselves to them work, yeah, it's not an easy thing. That's why you see people who dedicate themselves to standing up for justice or calling out injustice. You automatically get attacked or killed by the system because you actually are doing something that is dangerous to the system, because the more of us are sleeping is beneficial for the system. The more of us are awoken and decide, I'm not afraid of you, you're just going to have to kill me. That's dangerous to the system. So sometimes I don't always love to force people into this. Rather, I encourage people to keep themselves informed. The sleeping is good for those who want to keep control. The sleeping. That's why I hate church. I hate politicians. I hate liars. These people are benefited by the sleep. There's very few good lawyers out there. In my view, there's no good politician out there. I know for a fact that there's no good pastor out there. But that's my opinion. People will have a difference. But let's finish the few minutes or seconds of this.
Out of Barney Street. You know what the station is?
Yeah.
When the blood starts to run out of Barney Street station, Buster man to serve at the front, you know, when he made the statement, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a fireman hose wash the blood on the road, you know.
Wow. And let me just say to people, if you think it's joke, this Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, apologized for it and set up a fund. Hold on, caller.
Sometimes I understand why people don't want to get into history, but the longer we stay from it is the more controlled we are. And literally, I don't want nobody to control me because I'm a very rebellious person. So all when nothing that if it rebel about, me have a habit.
A young person made a post.
Me have a habit of just walking and looking for things to rebel. That's why I'm never liked in any workplace that I'm in. And black people use me in every workplace that I'm in. Let me tell you how black people behave in a workplace. Everybody have mouth behind the manager. You see, when you get in front of the manager, everybody silence and left it to contentious Wayne alone, because everybody will want to say Wayne mouth just goes a yap yap flap flap flap. But when everybody they become manager, everybody will talk up the things them. And when you're in front of manager now, everybody mouth shut. And when me get in front of manager now, me just have guani a galang so. Automatically, I'm the troublemaker. But everybody else is having the same problem that I'm having. But they're willing to sup, grunt, and bear it. I don't have time to grunt and bear it. I can bawl out. Yes, bawl out. They don't like knives. But remember, the Prime Minister told us this, and I believe him, every word of it.
A young person made a post on social media that bordered on being defamatory, probably libelous. The person was tracked and their identity discovered. Long and short, the person was put up to doing this by another political organization. And we have been tracking several such cases where you see some posts being made that border on defamatory or libelous. And when you dig behind, which we have the capabilities to do, and to discover the people behind these accounts, there are young persons being recruited to do this. It is purely out of good conscience that many of them we don't pursue, because they are young people, they are being misled, they are being used for the wrong purpose. Because they are native to social media, they are being used to manipulate social media, to comment on posts negatively, to spread rumors about people, to do some really nasty things. And you're going to see some actions very shortly for those persons. Much of what is being done is, in fact, against the law. I want to say to you, the people who have chosen to be a part of the Jamaica Labour Party, the Jamaica Labour Party does not use or endorse the use of social media to attack people's character, to assassinate people's character, to spread misinformation. We have too many good news items, too many achievements that you need to promote without having to resort to attacking people. No, we deal with policies and programs and principles. People who don't have policies, who don't have programs, and don't have principles, they try to attack people.
You say it. You say I walk and chalk with. And you tell we say you are the means to listen. Everything what we say. And you tell we say I go come after we with the Cybercrime Act. And we see it unfold in front of our eye right now.
Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out. From Portland, take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody, man or woman.
Well, me there long enough this morning. Me can't say me goodbyes no, but you know we're not going to leave without a little fun. We're going to have the Buster education this morning. All right, a bit of Buster education before we go this morning.
Parliament for Western St. Thomas, Mr. James Robertson. Members of Parliament for Eastern St. Thomas, Mrs. Michelle Charles. My fellow councillors, ladies and gentlemen, and citizens of the wonderful parish, good afternoon. I stand before you today, humbled and honored to be your mayor. This is not just a victory for me, but for all of us who believe in community prosperity and unity. As your mayor, I pledge to serve each of you with dedication, dignity, and integrity. Together, we will work to address the challenges facing our parish to build a brighter future for our generation to come.
Ladybug, admittedly true, I do not like PJ, but I can say PJ was a gentleman compared to Andrew Holness because of the way PJ Patterson was drugged by the nation, the way he was called names, and all of that up until today, PJ still have not dropped in the mud and wallow like the Prime Minister. I agree he's a gentleman, but his politics and I do not agree. Unavailable, absent, Colleen. No, sir. There's so much fun in Fockeries. Trust me. Unavailable, absent.
Distinguished guests, gradients, ladies and gentlemen.
Later, Sharon, later.
Good morning. I, Steve Graham, council nominee on the Old Harbour Primary Board of Management, I represent Mr. Ramon Fisher, who is unavailable, absent. I ask for this
unavailable,
absent.
absent.
Greet you today at the 20th
Colleen, where you there, Colleen? Unavailable, absent.
At this school of excellence.
Jesus.
Graduation is a milestone of all levels.
You read it, sir?
For the reason I feel truly honored to be here at all wonderful occasion, annual graduation ceremony at the Old Harbour Primary School Institute of Excellence.
Honest to God, Steve Graham reading, I just cannot get past it without saying something, because the biggest part of Steve Graham for me is what is on the paper, Mr. Graham. What was on the paper? Because what I'm sure of, what Mr. Graham was reading, I'm not sure that was there. Because if it was there, it wasn't grammatically hinged together either. It was all over the place. So this is the biggest problem for me with Steve Graham reading. I'm not quite sure what Mr. Graham was reading. It was what was actually on the paper. And that's my biggest problem with him. Never mind Anna and Bella. They're just fun.
Education, youth and distinguished guests, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I, Steve Graham, council nominee on the Old Harbour Primary Board of Management. I represent Mr. Ramon Fisher, who is
And I will come after from
absent.
Jamaica.
I happy for this opportunity to greet you today at the 2023 graduation at this School of Excellence. Graduation is a milestone of all levels. For the reason I feel truly honored to be here at all wonderful occasion, annual graduation ceremony at the Old Harbour Primary School.
No, see the problem with the whole of the way I read.
It is great joy. I am here today to assure you all graduates that I know you face a...
When I got tired of me this morning, what I want you to do is to try to follow. We're going to play Steve Graham one more time. Try to follow Mr. Graham sentence by sentence based on what he's reading, not what is supposedly on the paper. Zuria asks me, who write the game? Zuri, the problem is not who write the game. Because the issue is, it could be properly and plainly written. The question to ask is what he is reading, is that what is on the paper? That is the biggest problem may have. Me not going to even ask if who write the game. Because what he is reading, I'm not sure that that is there. And out of all of the dunce them, there is so much to pick out of Mr. Graham reading. Boy, oh boy, it's a struggle. And it is depressing as well, because he's speaking to children at a school graduation, just like Anvas was speaking to school children too, Murder, judgment.
And distinguished guests, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Thank you, Del.
I, Steve Graham,
Can't stop everyone. Thank you.
On the Old Harbour Primary Board of Management, I represent Mr. Ramon Fisher, who is unavailable, absent. I happy for this opportunity to greet you today at the 2023 graduation at this School of Excellence. Graduation is a milestone of all levels. For the reason I feel truly honored to be here at all wonderful occasion, annual graduation ceremony at the Old Harbour Primary School Institute of Excellence. It is great joy. I am here today to assure you all graduates that I know you face a rough task throughout your preparation, your primary school.
So the team Rosa want maths lesson to this man.
Pandemic, and with all the preparation for PEP, but I have no doubt the series of scare events you encounter endure during the period has only made you stronger and more resilient for the road ahead.
I want to say,
Open with a quote.
open with a quote. The heights by great men reach.
We're not attained.
We're not attained by sudden flight, but by day.
We're sleeping.
Companions were sleeping, toiled upwards in the night.
All right, now,
and that is
my team.
Term under the Michael, under the Andrew Holness led administration. All right, my workers, me couldn't go and a big enough. For the third term under the Michael, under the Andrew Holness led administration.
Answer the because I understand why you.
That girl here right now. Anyway, there's a little bit of information I need to bring for you. Patriotic Jamaican is always onto something. That's why I always tell you, subscribe to Patriotic Jamaican and follow his argument, because he does his research and he presents good information.
Big ideas don't come easy.
Exactly. He put forward a bit of information over the last few hours in relation to our upcoming election and so on. Let's listen and then we'll close the show on that, because everything election now we have to take note of, you know.
How Jamaica's democracy might already be sold to the highest bidder, and why you were never meant to know. It's official. Jamaica is now in election campaign season. But here's the plot twist. There's no election date yet. Sounds confusing. Don't worry, it's designed that way. Legally, this campaign period starts 6 months before the government's term expires. But that's not the scandal. Oh no. During this legal limbo, political parties, JLP and PMP, are legally allowed to raise and spend a combined $3.1 billion on campaigns. You heard that right, $3.1 billion. And that's just the official budget. Now picture a pie chart breaking down 630 million per party plus 15 million per candidate times 63. Do the maths. Now here's where the real political theater begins. Money is flowing. Deals are being made behind closed doors. And you, the voter, are not invited to the party. Have you ever voted in a general election? If not, what's holding you back? Let me know in the comments. The secret back rooms. Let's say you're a rich business tycoon. You can legally donate up to 31.5 million to a party or 1.5 million to a candidate. But if you don't want your name revealed, easy. Just donate before the campaign period starts. Because guess what? Those big donations, they don't have to be disclosed before the official campaign begins. That's right. Jamaica's democracy is basically on a early bird special mode for billionaires. Imagine one election flyer with the word spanny, early access, buy your democracy now. For rich business people, even worse, candidates don't need receipts for anything under $10,000. So parties can easily disguise spending through tiny, untraceable transactions. Think death by 10,000 curry goat dinners. If you had $31.5 million to donate, which party you're buying? Why it matters? Now you may ask, so what? Is this just politics as usual? No, it's deeper, because when special interest groups fund campaigns, they don't just want to support democracy. They want policy favors, tax breaks, government contracts, and influence. Translation, your vote gets outweighed by a check. In 2020, JLP raised 176 million. PNP pulled in 122.5 million, but the donors, only 8 companies confirmed they gave anything, accounting for just 8% of the money. That means 92% of campaign funding came from the shadows. True or false? Jamaican politics is just a big man game. Let's talk facts. In the comments, both parties are guilty. Mark Golding once promised to publish the PNP's financial records annually. That promise dead, buried, forgotten. Meanwhile, the JLP, despite its transparency talk, argues that if donor identities were revealed, funding would dry up. Translation, if
That's why I ask Dr. Chang, how much gun, drugs, or money coming at the container with there? The chicken them can't talk, so we can't ask the chicken, Dr. Chang. That's why we ask you how much drugs, gun, or money came in the container to Helsha to run the general election, Dr. Chang. It's a simple question. You can't say it.
Jamaicans knew who was pulling the strings, the puppet show might not be so popular anymore. Who do you think really runs Jamaica? Voters or donors? Sound off in the comments below. The cost of silence. This isn't just about money, it's about trust. Voter turnout in 2020 was 38%, one of the lowest in our history, and 80% of Jamaicans believe the country is highly corrupt. So when voters feel the game is rigged, they stop playing. And that silence is exactly what the puppet masters want. But it doesn't have to stay this way. We can demand transparency laws, mandatory donor disclosures, real-time public campaign finance dashboards. No more.
Remember when I asked Mark Golden, bring a legislation to Parliament and make it mandatory that all of us Jamaican citizens from 18 to the tomb, we must vote in all election. I guarantee you it will minimize a lot of the corruption we see in our election right now.
Dark money. No.
As well as we need to have a donor law when it comes to election. We need a donor law. And we depend on Mark Golden as a leader that is coming to deal with this outrageous corruption in our country. You can't tell me something there too long this man if my case gone now.
No more secret handshakes. Should political donors be publicly named? Let's settle this in the comments. Here's a summary of the highlights and the key points. Jamaica's election period starts long before the polls, allowing early fundraising without transparency. $3.1 billion can legally be raised/spent during campaign periods. Loopholes, no donor disclosures pre-campaign, no receipts.
No, an election is a policy war. Election donation is a policy war. The question I want to ask Mr. Holness or the PNP at the moment, the JLP or the PNP, has any of you been funded by the Americans, the Chinese, or the Japanese, or their secret partners in order to fund your election campaign? It's a question we need to answer for all I know. We need to know who we're not going to make legislation on behalf of when not come in, because we know he who pays the piper really calls the tune, isn't it?
under $10,000. In-kind support not properly tracked. Both JLP and PMP refuse to reveal donors. 80% of Jamaicans believe corruption is high. Voter turnout is critically low. If elections were fair, would 80% of Jamaicans still feel like the system corrupt? Let's talk the truth in the comments. So once the veil has been lifted from the people's eyes, then they more realize, but election after election, we the voters, we the poor people, don't really benefit from politics. Realistically, at the 1% elite, those billionaire oligarchs in society, at them actually benefit those big business people. Them are the one where control all of your favorite politicians. Them are the one where control both major political parties. Yes, the private sector. Yeah, them are them boss. Them are who your favorite politician them answer to. Come election time, them are donate big money to your favorite political party to get special government favors. So them can get richer and richer. So in 2016, before the campaign reporting law came into effect, 10 members of the private sector organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, voluntarily made public contributions to the two parties, totaling $144 million. So this is a voluntary act. Them can choose not to volunteer. Say ABC company did donate 20 million to this party and XZY company they donate 31.5 million to the party there. It must be the law, especially if politicians are serious about rebuilding faith in Jamaica's democracy, reversing the island's dismally low voter turnouts, 38% in 2020 general election, and changing the perception of Jamaicans. Yes, 80% of Jamaicans believe that they live in a highly corrupt country. Mark Golding promised transparency. Andrew Holness promised integrity. Who broke your trust first? Here's the truth.
Definitely Andrew Holness. He promised integrity first, and he broke it. He's in the court right now suing the nation and the Integrity Commission.
Democracy isn't free, and in Jamaica it's getting damn expensive, but you still have power to question, to share, to demand better. So what happens next? Will we pull back the curtains or keep pretending the show is real? If this video made you think, like it, share it, and comment.
I want to say thank you all for listening this morning. It's election season now, and everybody are by contract and policy, because those who donate to the political parties are the ones who will get the contract, or their affiliates, or their sleeping dormant companies, or the policies that are legislated will be legislated in their economic benefit. Thank you for being here on Global TV this morning. Lovely to have your support. We really have gone over time this morning, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Join us back this evening for the people's point of view right here on Global TV. Thank you and goodbye.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when my like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub oppress the poor. Make up what I sing to. Big him and throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black baby.
No, Opal, I have a lot of phone calls to make today. Whether it's brilliant today either. Not cool, but not brilliant.
If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out. I sell out Babylon. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead and can sell out Rasta. I sell out, I sell out Babylon. Yes, stop on the front. You might show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black baby man, throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black baby man, throw and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
YouTube, thank you very much for being here this Sunday. Join us back this evening for
and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Eastern time, midnight, UK time. Thank you very much. Good morning and good afternoon from the Global Television Group.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.